Right, it is Sunday. The pro course is done, and I'm here with this gentleman. Could you introduce yourself, please?
My name is Kechaud Johnson, Dallas, Texas, America. Living in California now. Just a guy who likes to come out and have some fun. So yeah, that's how I introduce myself.
For your second year?
This is my second year.
Last year was your first year?
Correct,
And we met then, and you were kind enough to talk to me then?
Of course. You seem like a great dude, and I've learned that you're a really fun, cool dude.
That's very kind of you, Kechaud. I'm very flattered.
Of course.
Thank you. And the same to you, and you just seem to have an incredible talent on a skateboard.
Well, thank you.
Like I've been clearly following you from last year on your Instagram. Remind us all of that handle. So
okay, yeah, Kechaud, it's the way you spell my name, Kechaud. So just at Kechaud.
Definitely.
Go follow, it's some good stuff out there, you know, some goofy stuff, some fun stuff.
Definitely go and follow it. This guy shreds. And let's get straight into that with the like I said it last year and I'll say it this year, there's a lot of athleticism to your skateboarding. It's big popped stuff.
Yes.
Like you've got the tech stuff, I've seen you do the tech stuff and you can do that, but then you kind of bring some of that tech stuff to the big stuff as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And I guess we might as well just go straight into the banger. Like your competition runs were amazing. You were like, you know, all the rails, all the big rails.
Oh yeah.
There's a few of us that mentioned this year that it seems to be all about going up the rail as well, even from the kicker and even from the flat for some people.
And you know what was interesting? Last year, not as many people were going up that rail.
Right.
You know, this year everyone was ready for it. Everyone was pushing the level. So that's the kind of stuff I love to do. So it was fun to see everyone else doing it too. You know.
And then we had a best trick comp. Well, I quite like the final setup where it was like you could have your runs, and then there was that 4 attempts at some big thing.
Yeah,
so if you had something in the bag that you were like, oh, I don't always get this, but it's worth.
Because a lot of times with contests, and it sucks to say this, but like a lot of times people kind of hold back. You know, they can do something crazy, or the course is set up for it. There's like a perfect gap to something or whatever, but they're like, you know, could I do it in a run, or will it link up? Like, will I be in the right part of the course at the right part of time?
Right.
So sometimes, like, you know, you find yourself not being able to do the certain tricks that you know you can do. Then by the time the contest is over, you got to get off the course or whatever, you don't get to try the tricks. So that's like one thing that bums me out a lot of times. Like, if I don't really give it my all after I'm done, I'm not going to get to skate that course ever again. You know.
Right.
And a lot of these courses are built, like, you know, they're built only for the events, so they're so fun.
Then they're gone.
You know.
Yeah.
So. For, like you said, for this course, you can do your good run, flow all over the park, but then you have some separate time to do those bangers, and you know, it changes the scores, makes things interesting. You know.
Yes, and I really like the instant scoring system this year as well. So we all knew like where everyone was at straight away. And then there was
bring some drama to it also for the crowd. So the crowd knows as well. You know.
Yeah, and it's good for any non-skateboarders that are watching. They get straight away.
This person's done better now, and now this person's here. Like, you know, it's so sick.
Yeah. And I think for some of us older guys, there was a little bit of resistance to that at first, like why we commercialise, and then thankfully, I think what also happened is that some of the older guys were like, dude, this is just the way it's going to be. Like, we either go with this or we go against it, and
people are going to complain regardless, you know. So that's the problem.
But actually, you know, it's been about a little while. I can totally see the value of it, and I can totally see, like you say, it brings some drama. It brings some really good, some good watching. But even in your run, didn't you put in that like? Oh no, it was one of your tricks, one of those 4 tricks.
Yes.
You got the gap out to lip slide.
Yes.
Now, I took a photo of this gap, and I'll try and put it up now when I edit this later.
Somewhere right now. Yeah.
But I also, afterwards, I realised I should have got somebody to stand there or something to give it some perspective. Hopefully, somehow I can see how
long the rail is, or the gap is. Yeah.
How long the gap is. Because you took off from the beginning of the rail. It's a down rail, a long rail, and down. And we're not talking about some little like beginner section of a skate park.
Yeah, for sure.
This is like. I mean, you're
on that rail for a good time when you do the whole thing. So to gap past it, you know, I am in the air for quite some time before.
I reckon we're looking at a good 12 foot from your takeoff to like hitting a rail at any point. And and I want to make this really clear in case anyone's not getting this or not seen the detail, from flat.
Yeah, of course.
You didn't like
There's
hit
no
off
launch
a kicker.
ramp, nothing, yeah.
There's no launcher from flat.
Yeah.
From wood.
Yes,
So
that's
not
another
even,
thing too. Yeah,
Not even concrete. So you haven't even got that like absolute
extra pop. Yeah.
You got wood on wood. And we'll come to your board in a minute because you just mentioned something about that I really want to know about. But and we were like, what is he doing? Like out to lip side, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I'll let you tell us what you did in the best trick as well.
Okay, for sure.
Which was?
So the gap to lip slide, I knew I had it, it could work out, got the speed for it. And it's one of those things that with that rail, even if there was more speed, I could do a lot more tricks. But given that amount of speed, because they do have a pretty good quarter pipe there, so I'm not pushing.
But that was all you had, wasn't it? You had one quarter pipe.
Yeah. Because the year before there was a similar rail, gap to rail, but there was a longer flat but a smaller quarter pipe. So what I did is I dropped in, pushed, and then was kind of able to get it. This year it's a bigger quarter pipe, but it's closer, so it's not as much time to push, so I can't take my foot off, but I just pump it and just go for it. So it did give me a little bit more speed, so that's why I was able to try gap to Smith. And so in the best trick section, I was able to do gap to Smith grind. And it was a whole new ball game, I guess, because I guess the lip slide kind of slows you down once you hit the rail, because the board's going to flex a little bit, and the way you turn your body, it kind of slows you down, like momentum-wise.
Okay.
When I'm doing that Smith, it's all speed, and so that's why it took me a few tries to land it, because I just hit the ground.
Yeah, because you whizzed out a few times, didn't you?
I think I'm taking it, like I'm about to roll away perfect, and just the speed, impact, because like you said, it's a really far gap, connecting with all my weight onto the rail just for a second, and then to absorb it into the ground, it was so much speed, so much impact, and it's something I had never really absorbed before like that, because it was just such a straight shot.
And just in case you either don't skateboard or you're new to skateboarding, I just want to point out the first trick, he's landing somewhere, and you're obviously always aiming for the middle because that gives you the, but
and you see most of the marks are in the middle as well.
Yeah. But this is your margin of error. You've got this much to play with when you're going to the lip slide.
Yeah.
When he's going to a Smith grind, he's landing on the back truck. So this is now the area that you're aiming for, which is sort of be nearly a third less than what you. Yeah.
Of course.
So your margin, your accuracy of jumping out 12 foot from on an ollie.
Yeah.
Onto a rail that's about that round.
And now here's something else to think about whenever you do like a normal handrail. Oh no, of course. Whenever you're going into a normal handrail, you can see the height of the handrail because you're rolling up to it and it's higher right here. Right. Now this handrail that I'm going to, the height of it's here, then there's a flat. The flat's about even with where I'm popping, and then it goes down. So here's another thing. When I'm doing lip slide, I'm turning and I'm facing forward so I can see the rail on the way down. When I do the gap to Smith, the board stays parallel with the rail almost. So when I'm gapping out, I can't see the rail at all because it's down below me, gapped far down there, and my board is straight blocking the vision of the rail. So it's basically just something I just have to understand where I'm going to and aim it at the right point.
Like almost trust it,
really believe, because I'm telling you, I don't see the rail at all. Like I pop and then the rail disappears. And so it's just one of those things that you just aim it in the right spot, and your body should be able to sink it into the right place.
So I kind of want to bring up something, which is this idea of how hard it is to judge that from a judging perspective.
For sure.
And how all the judges that are there are big boys. They've all heard everything under the sun.
Of course.
It's understandable that some people may or may not feel that it was judged correctly.
Yeah.
My opinion is that, and I thought this since we spoke just after the course, just after the finals, is that there's a very real possibility that you're just ahead of your time.
Yeah.
That you're just right ahead of your athleticism is that, because the human body keeps evolving and we keep getting more and more powerful. And I think just what you do with your skateboarding is just ahead of its time.
Yes.
In terms of power.
Yes.
So I think it's going to be a little while before people can catch up with what's going on there.
And I talk about that from time to time, and I feel bad. And what really kind of pushed me is I have one friend from Czech Republic, Thomas Venter. Shout out to Thomas Venter out there. Because when you do these contests or whatever, there's someone judging you, and you feel bad, like if you think you did really good and you think you placed higher, you think you did better, and they give you a lower score, and what can you do about it? Why did you do that for? Why'd you judge me bad? You can't really do anything about it because you just come off as arrogant, or you come off as whiny or something like that. But it's one of those things that if you really analyze it, and when the homie Thomas pointed it out, he was like, you know what, those guys, they did really good or whatever, and talking about other contests, like, you know, those guys did really good, whatever. But if you gave me about 2 hours, I could do almost every single line out there. If you gave me 4 years, I would never be able to do the line that you just did. And it's just one of those things, you talk about the athleticism. A lot of times I try to do things that no one else is going to do or no one else is going to be able to do. And it just comes down to some things as small as, with the way I'm able to skate, I can drop in fast, do certain tricks, and then where other people would have to, like, you know, slow down and go to something else, I can go fast and hit another obstacle that other people couldn't get enough speed for, or they wouldn't be able to gap into or something like that, and I link it together all in one run. Whereas a lot of other people, they're doing more smaller but technical tricks. And, you know, I can do the flip ins, you know, do the more technical tricks, but I feel like it doesn't flow as well in runs. And, you know, it's just how the judges see it, though.
Because that's one of the things we noticed. You were doing like that really nice indie tweaker over the BMX box.
Yes.
And then hitting that same purple quarter pipe with a fair bit of speed, sort of carving around it, and then coming in for that long down rail at like Mach 10.
Yes,
and we were all stood on the sidelines like, he's tanking it at that rail, man. Yeah, like you just said.
And those are little things that, you know, the judges notice it, but you don't kind of put it into perspective when I do it. You know what I'm saying? So you see the other guys do certain tricks, they hold it together, cool trick, whatever. But when I do it, I'm going hella fast at a gnarly angle, and it's linked together in a run. It's not like starting out there, you know, whatever. And so it's little things like that that, but it's like, what can I do? All I can do is just, you know, skate the best and have fun, which I'm always doing. And the best thing about it is, regardless of what place I get or like how everything works, or even if I think I deserve better or deserve worse, whatever, I always get so much love from the crowd just because they notice it. They see, and you know, of course, when I'm out there, I'm smiling the whole time because courses like that are so fun. It's just big ramps, big rails, gapping into stuff, linking it together, flying around, and hanging out with all the homies, of course, too. So I'm having fun. I'm smiling out there so much, and people see that. So they like, skateboarding looks fun. I want to. They want to be more like me than they even want to be like the winners sometimes, because the winners are good. They look focused and they do some crazy tricks, but it looks more fun and more relatable when I'm doing it because I'm flying and having fun.
You're getting a lot of love from the other skaters on the sideline as well.
Yes.
A lot of love,
sure.
yeah. So, so you mentioned earlier something quite unique about your board. Which probably will fit in with what we've just been talking about with athleticism as well. Tell us about that a little bit.
Well, it's something that Dwindle Distribution does. Dwindle does Darkstar Skateboards, which is who I ride for. They also do a company, Madness, Blind, and Almost. And they do it sometimes to where they sell it, but like, I guess just for marketing, it doesn't work out sometimes. The boards sell in America for around $54 American, US dollars. But when we do the fiberglass boards, they sell from anywhere from 60, 65 to 70. And so to sell those decks, it kind of, you know, it's a little more expensive. But what they do is their normal 7 plies, but then the top ply is gonna have just basically just a ring of wood around it, and then the center part from about here going all the way around like this is fiberglass.
Can you see, if the grip tape wasn't there, would you be able to see it?
If we can lift this grip tape, I don't know if we have a razor. Yeah, because I don't know if I can.
No, you don't need to do it. Don't worry about it.
Well, we can talk about it. We can try to get it.
Don't ruin your board.
Ruin it. So I let someone skate it earlier, thinking they were going to snap it.
Yeah, right.
We tried to let him snap it. That's another thing. We tried to let him snap. He got 2 stomps on it, and it didn't go through. So
proper 2 stomps and couldn't.
Proper 2 stomps. Yeah.
Well, we can. I'll try and bring up. I'll try and bring up a picture about it. No, I'll try.
There we go.
I'll Google a picture and bring it up.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm sure Rodney won't mind me.
He won't mind
ripping off one of these pictures.
Photos, yeah.
So they have Rodney Mullen,
right? So they have 3 different kinds to where the one I ride are the lightest ones. It's just a fiberglass strip right here. They have another one that has a fiberglass strip and rings on the bottom actually. So there's another like.
Oh, is that like the impact board?
Yeah, those are the double impact boards. These are the impact lights, and then there's another kind to where it's just the rings on the bottom. You know, so.
The skateboarding dog.
The skateboarding dog is taking over right now.
Right. So sorry, the double impact to the circle. And then what was the third one? Sorry.
The third one is one that the double impact is with the circle and the one on the top. Mine's the top one only. So I think it's like impact light, and then there's something with the rings. I don't know what those are called, but yeah, they have 3 different kinds, but they don't really sell them that much anymore. You know, just because it's one of those things that kids aren't buying the $70, $60 boards that have all the fiberglass in them. So they give us to they give them to the pros. But they'll sell them from time to time. But the way I see it as far as marketing goes, I think it's one of those things to where if you're a little kid or a younger kid, you don't really need a board that strong. And if you are older and you possibly need a board like that, chances are you're probably sponsored or you're, getting hooked up or whatever. But, there's that fair chance that you're just doing it, killing it, and, you need a stronger board, So.
And do you notice the difference with that?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Just because it's one of those things that even if you do stomp it through, like if your board does crack, it's going to stay together, So because one of the worst things you can do is snap like in the middle or the nose and tail, do the splits, because the board comes apart, your body does the splits.
Yeah.
Obviously that's going to hurt. Yeah. This board, it's going to snap, but it's going to stay together because like when it breaks and the wood is not connected, the fiberglass just dangles. So you can hold this one side and the wood just like flops, because it's stuck together,
And so how does it feel with the pop? Does it pop quite well?
Of course, the pop is going to stay like, the way Dwindle makes their boards in general, like they use a special glue that they've developed only for skateboarding. It's not just something they bought from hardware stores or whatever. So the boards stay together. They're super strong, super solid. They get the wood, I think, from specific trees in Canada that grow in nice areas. There's a whole video starring Rodney Mullen that talks about it or whatever.
I think I've seen some of that.
But as far as using the fiberglass, it keeps the.
And they put
single
like
molds.
A metal sheet, or very few in a mold, so it all keeps the same concave.
Because back in the day they used to stack 7 boards pressed into one mold. There's separate dividers to make sure each board has a good shape.
Has the same concave,
And so
I did when I first started doing all this stuff years and years ago, I did a show with a British board manufacturer, and they're called Third Foot, and they were really, really good about taking me around the warehouse. It was a radio show, and the only thing he wouldn't tell me about was the glue.
Oh, really?
Because he was like, everything else is the same as what happens in every other skateboard manufacturing factory you'll ever go in.
Exactly.
And when I say factory, I mean more workshop.
Yeah.
Like any other good board manufacturer, they were hand making. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
I was a bit naive at the time, even though I've been skating for years, and I was like, this is really interesting. But he was like, okay, this is the glue we use, and that's all I'm going to tell you, and that's and that, and
exactly.
I'm not going to tell you anything more about that because that's our trade secret.
Yeah, for sure.
So that seems to be the critical thing.
Yeah, there's little things that matter. Like they've been, boards are meant to break. They have to break.
Yeah.
If they're so strong that they're never going to break, we're going to end up breaking our bodies.
Yeah.
Once we jump down something big, if it doesn't give a little bit, it's going to hurt us. So when you do find something that works, the right glue, the right way to press the boards, you do get a solid board that's going to keep you safe, but also handle some of the biggest stuff you need.
And in the most complimentary way ever, Rodney is like the most skateboard geek you'll ever come across.
For sure.
There's like him and Schmidt. Like Professor Schmidt, who just know everything about how you make a board, how you where the concave should be properly for this, that, and the other. If you want to geek out on skateboards, he's the man to go to. Rodney's
he knows it all.
Okay, and you were also saying earlier, if you're allowed to say on media, about something to do with Crux as well.
Oh yeah, of course. We have to get that going ASAP anyway. So this is one of my newest boards from Dark Star, and we actually took some ideas from this graphic, the colors, and just kind of what I was feeling, the vibe. And I have a pro truck coming out pretty soon. So,
on Crux?
Yeah, for Crux, And so it's going to have some same colors like this. I was kind of going for like an Alice in Wonderland kind of like royal type vibe. So it's going to be like a maroon, just like this, some maroon with some gold and stuff. It's going to pop. It's going to look really sick.
And you're definitely, I mean, did Crux do this Kingpin on all the trucks, or is it just
they don't do it on all the trucks, but you can choose. And what they used to do it to where they'd have certain ones that have this and certain ones that have the standard one. But what ended up happening is Crux has so many different this is the first pair of silver Crux I've rode in a long time, but even they got the leopard on there, so they have to do something. But normally they have kitty cats, they have rainbows, they have just blues, greens.
They go for
shiny, just all kinds of crazy stuff. So what would happen is they have metallic blue in size 8, size 8.25, size 8.5. Then you got both different kingpins for all those sizes, then all those colors. So it became a thing to where they couldn't make all of them. So for a little bit, what they started to do is only making the standard kingpin, but they were selling these separate.
Right.
So basically, you just take the normal one out and put this one in. works just as good or whatever. But now they went back to doing it to where they package it in there.
Right.
So yeah, you can buy them either way with this one or with the normal one. And basically what this one is, it just sits lower. It uses an Allen kingpin or Allen tool to loosen and tighten it, which is good because when the normal kingpin gets grinded down and grinded on, sometimes your bolt you can't loosen it up. So that's obviously going to be a big problem. So this you'll never have to worry about that. But also it sits so low and it's rounded right here to where you're never going to hang up grinds, or even like younger kids when they go to rock and roll on a quarter pipe, sometimes their truck will kind of catch the coping. This thing is smooth as can be. Brand new. Yeah. Love these things.
Sweet. What are your plans for the rest of it? Because this is day 3 now. We've got Cypress Hill tonight. You're staying to watch that?
Of course. Yeah.
And then what are your plans for the rest of the summer?
The rest of the summer, I get to go home for a little bit. I've been on the road for about 6 to 7 weeks, contest after contest.
I've seen on your Instagram.
It's been fun though. We've been bouncing around, not too many things planned out either. When I first started this trip, I had a flight to Montpellier, France for the FEES event, and that was the only ticket I had booked. And so basically just after meeting up with everyone, like, where are we going next? We're gonna go here. Should we go here first? We bounced around the Czech Republic, went to Slovakia, and I was originally planning on coming to London for about a week, but then we ended up going to Barcelona instead. Just, let's go to there instead, whatever, just making things up as we go. But it has been a long road. It has been pretty crazy, a lot of fun though. But yeah, after this I do get to go home for a little bit.
It's time to go home and sleep for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
solid.
2 weeks, just no one's gonna see me again. I'm just gonna be locked away. But yeah, it's fun. I'm still gonna be skating all the time, but just keeping it low key as far as contests for a while. I think the next contest is Jackalope in August of 16th in Montreal.
Nice.
Yeah, so get some time off.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, it has been a real pleasure as always. Spending some time with you.
Always being back here is sick, but hanging out with good people like you, that's what's good about this place. Everyone's so upfront, everyone's so.
You're not getting involved in the mini ramp action now?
I'm not. I'm done today. That's one thing about contests. I've learned more than anything. I got to give it my all. I don't want to be able to skate afterwards. I want to be able to just throw my body down there, and after that I got to chill. So that's where I'm at now. I'm at the chill zone. So
you've earned it.
I've worked hard today. So
Kechaud, thank you.
Yeah. Of course. Thank you again. Yeah. We'll do this again next year.
I hope so.
We'll have another recap, and we'll grow from this, and we'll have a lot more to talk about, I'm sure.
We'll call it the Kechaud Show.
There we go.
That tips off the tongue easily.
Hey, I love the sound of that, the Kechaud Show. We can film some behind the scenes tonight at the party, just to hype the people up for next year's episodes. Maybe it's I don't know if we should show that. We have fun out here. That's all I'm saying. We have some fun. So, skateboarding, off the skateboard, we're having fun. We're smiling. That's all it's about. So
cool, man.
Oh yeah. And we're trying to make other people smile. We're trying to make other people happy. So
I think we did.
And that's what skateboarding does anyway.
Yeah,
see me out there jumping around. They're like, oh my god. It's fun. It's fucking fun.
Down for it.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. So
say goodbye.
Later, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for everything. If you followed me, thank you even more. You've watched this for so long. If you're watching this, you should be following me by now. Kechaud.
Follow his Instagram account. It's amazing.
Cool stuff.